I'm going to get started with Yesican, which on YouTube said, "Hi, I'm visiting New Zealand in 2 weeks in June. Is it going to be rainy? In short, what is the weather like in New Zealand in June?" All right, let's get started. So as you know, we have a beautiful map where we can write stuff on it, and that's how we do the weather. Now, June is a pretty cool. Cool month. Is it the beginning of winter? It's the first month of winter.
So
right?
June is the first month of winter in New Zealand. So obviously you can expect it to get a little bit colder at this time of the year, but it's not in the dead of winter yet. It's not usually going to be too snowy at the beginning of June, but there might be some snow in the sort of higher alpine regions throughout New Zealand. So you might need to be aware of that. But where there isn't snow, it's more likely to be a little bit rainy. So as that question was asking, is it going to be rainy in June? It's likely that there will be some rain in June, yes.
Yes, it will be rainy, but how rainy is it going to be? Let's go through the whole map and let's do our classic New Zealand weather of June. So in the month of June, let's talk about the typical temperatures. So how cold does it get in June in New Zealand? All right, so on the northern New Zealand, which is Northland, Auckland and Tauranga, the temperature averaged between 12 degrees Celsius and 53 degrees Fahrenheit. On central Northland, which is Hamilton, Taupo and Rotorua, there is around 8 degrees Celsius, which is 46 degrees Fahrenheit. What's the difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit? Always just confuses me. Yeah. All right, for the southwest Northland, we have New Plymouth, Palmerston North and Wellington. That's around 9 degrees Celsius, which is 48 Fahrenheit. On the eastern Northland, which is Gisborne, Napier and Wairarapa, it is 10 degrees Celsius, which is 50 Fahrenheit. On the northern Southland, so we're hitting the Southland now, that's Blenheim and Nelson, that's 8 degrees Celsius, which is 46 Fahrenheit. Then we're having the west coast of New Zealand, that's Westport, Hokitika and Milford Sound. On there, we're going to be having 6 to 7 degrees Celsius, which is 43 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit. On the eastern Southland, which is Kaikoura, Christchurch and Timaru, we're going to have 7 degrees Celsius, which is around 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Also on the inland Southland, we have Lake Tekapo, Queenstown and Alexandra, that's 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, which is 36 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit. And on southern New Zealand, which is all the way down the bottom where you can find Dunedin and Invercargill, it is 7 degrees Celsius, which is 45 Fahrenheit. So that's your average temperatures right here in June in New Zealand. And as you can tell, there's a massive difference between the North and the Southland. But it's not as massive as you will experience with the rainfalls. The rainfall in New Zealand in June are all over the place. And yes, it does rain a lot in New Zealand in June, so you need to pack your rain jackets. All right, so let's go through the rainfalls right here. I'm going to give you millimeters. So if you're from the US, I am sorry, you will have to convert that in inches. Or just learn the metric system. Whichever is easier. Whichever is easier, I'm sorry. All right, anyway, northern New Zealand, that's 150 millimeters of rain. Central North Island, it will be 80 millimeters of rain. The southwest North Island is going to be 140 millimeters of rain. The eastern North Island will be about 100 millimeters of rain. The northern South Island is very dry, the driest place in the country, actually one of the driest places in the country, with 60 millimeters of rain. The west coast, sorry about that. The west coast is between 240 and 450 millimeters of rain. So definitely the wettest place in New Zealand. It is the wettest place in New Zealand all year round, to be honest. But it is an amazing place because all this rain. It gets so lush and beautiful.
Yeah, the forests there are amazing.
Yeah, they are. Now in Kaikoura and the rest of this area right here with Christchurch, it's about 70 millimeters of rain. Inland is going to be 30 to 60 millimeters of rain, and the southern New Zealand will get 80 millimeters of rain in June. So that's kind of like the average kind of weather that you can experience right here in New Zealand. But if you do plan to travel in June in New Zealand, you may want to pack a few things that are absolutely mandatory. The first thing is the beanie. It is raining a lot and getting a little bit cold, but most importantly, there is a lot of wind in New Zealand in June, and for that reason, it's going to get really chilly really fast. So even if you think that, oh, I can handle 6-7 degrees, it will feel much colder because there is wind. So, it's sometimes they do that in the weather forecast. They say like, it's going to be 7 degrees, but it's going to feel like 0.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically what it's going to be a lot. So beanie and scarf for sure, merino wool layers. Laura, what is the main thing to pack when you travel New Zealand in June?
Well, at any time of the year, Robin, you need to pack a rain jacket.
Yay.
And especially in June as well, because it's, as you saw from all the rainfall on that chart that Robin just went through, then it does get a bit rainy, especially on the west coast and a few other areas around New Zealand. So it is good to pack a rain jacket and some waterproof hiking shoes if you do plan to do a bit of hiking. And it's best to do hiking really like whatever the weather, as long as it's not like too in a dangerous place in the alpine regions and things, but it is definitely worth getting out there, and just as long as you're well prepared with a rain jacket
and waterproof shoes
and got your waterproof shoes on, then you'll have a good time.
Yeah. All right, so that's our take for the weather in New Zealand in June. We will link obviously in the description below to the article on Backpacker Guide, which is the New Zealand weather in June. That will give you so much more information, as well as our favorite places to visit in New Zealand in June. So you definitely don't want to miss this article. It's in the comment below. If you find this video useful, click like, click subscribe. We're here every single week.